Aloha, this is Santa Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. There was a lot that happened. I want to thank you so much for joining us on santasurfing.locals.com. I want to thank you for joining me on X as a subscriber. And I want to thank you for your fierce help last night. What a blessing. We had a blessing, a miracle that happened. So I have a lot of things happening. Last night we were many of us on X were on fighting mode just because of what was going on, and I'll share that in just a moment. But I did want to go ahead and let you know that I will be having my daily shows on YouTube, and I will be more than likely just doing like 6-minute videos on Rumble. So if you want to watch my full podcast and with receipts and everything, it will be on YouTube. That will be effective as of Monday. So there were big things, lots of things going on, but this is going to be on Tsunami Warnings. And I want to thank you, the beautiful surfers and Anons and the Pepes out there, going out there and fighting like heck. And then President Trump, he posted some very big tsunami related posts, including treason, which I'll get to in this podcast. So yesterday there was an earthquake that happened. Actually, the effective date was on July 30th, Russia time, but it started to have a ripple effect on Japan, Guam, Hawaii, and then eventually on the western states and Alaska as well. But I want to thank everyone on X. So last night we were all in fighting mode. It was amazing what you all did. There were a series of live updates about the situation that was going on with the tsunami on the Hawaiian Islands. Now, on Maui, there is a private road that only Oprah has access to use. And that was really the bone of contention, because on Maui, did you know on Maui, there's not one single freeway on Maui? And there is a stretch of road that takes you out to Paia from like central Maui or from Lahaina, and then you go to Paia, and there's 4 lanes. Woohoo, that's big, right? Well, then it narrows down and it starts to bottleneck to just 1 lane. So that's it. You don't have more than a 4-lane road on Maui. It's either 2 lanes or 4 lanes, and that's it. Or sometimes in some cases 1 lane. So that's really the very, very hard thing to do, is for people to get to evacuation zones. So my phone was ringing off the hook. People I haven't talked to in months. They were asking, what kind of updates are you getting? I was finding out more and more and more. And then I was calling other people on Maui and Hawaii, just trying to help them out and giving them some information. They weren't aware of a lot of things. Although they did get the 2 sirens, tsunami sirens, actually, and they ended up with 4 and 2 EBS alerts. But back to this here. So there's a private road that only Oprah has access to, and but it's not her road. The road sits on county land. County officials have access to this road, and it's only Oprah. That's it. Many locals call it Oprah's road. I wish the people on Maui one day will understand why she's the only person on the planet outside of the county to have access to this road. So I went ahead and put a thread together, because I was just kind of, and I hated going back in these moments because it was really hard back then. But I do want to go over some stuff because it kind of ties into some of the President Trump's truth posts. So what happened last night was, let me just show you some of it was just amazing. So one of the biggest things that we needed to do was we needed to get that road opened, this quote unquote private road, really not a private road, it's a county road, but anyway, it's used for private. I'll get to that in a moment. I asked if you all could help, and I was so seriously throttled at last night, and I was so freaking mad at X. Oh, so mad at them because they wouldn't post my original post. Anyway, there's a tsunami warning, and I wanted to kind of alert the people in Hawaii of what's going on. But I asked if you could please tag Hawaii IMA, which is HEMA, which is Hawaii's version of FEMA, and ask them to reopen the road, open the private road from Wailea to upcountry. That it takes them to higher ground. I'll get to that in a moment. You all were so freaking fantastic in getting that out there, that I just want to say thank you so much. So many people were tagging Hawaii FEMA, and you were all getting the word out. And I tried to hit all the like button as often as I could. Nick Sorto even was helping out. I want to thank you, Nick, he is a very, very big podcaster. He's been on many different shows and everything like that. He's a great reporter, but he was putting stuff out there, and he even was helping helping when it came down to the road. So I thank all of you for your help in getting this big name social media person to also get involved with getting some help. I even reached out to President Trump and through the 45 office page, and well, it was really a miracle what had happened. But what happened was we only saw a clip of the road open. We did not see the full thing. So did Oprah's road really open up? And if President Trump's team told the government, open that road, open it up, because I'll tell you right now, Oprah does not open that road, or county doesn't open that road for anybody except for Oprah and whatever operation she's got going on. Many of you know that. Did it really open up? Here's proof that it was closed, and it opened only to let 6 vehicles enter, and then it was closed again. And I'm wondering if one of those 6 vehicles was a plant, because they put a video out and they said, oh, the road is open. And they showed that they were driving up the hill. And I thought, was it open?
Look at this. I think they're trying to open Oprah's road. Come on, Oprah. Save us. Roads all the way up country, bro. All the way up country. She got it all to herself. And everybody trying to get in. Cops trying to open it. Nope. Still closed. Man. She got her own road from Wailea all the way up country, which is the safe zone. And she won't even save us. Now, I don't know that, but road's still closed, people are still passing it, and we're still stuck. Stuck, and a tsunami is coming. I have an hour and a half until it hits, so we're getting there.
Okay, so it says Oprah's gate on Maui. They opened the gate, let a group through, then closed it again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm sorry. I said 6. There's 8 vehicles that went up. That's it. That's it. Then, watch this. Watch this. Then they shut the road again. They block this road, and they watch it like Fort Knox. Now, if you'll notice, the police are standing by right there. All right. They will have, whenever there's a fire evacuation, I've been evacuated from fires and even from potential earthquakes with possible tsunamis hitting, and you had to go to some place, right? Higher ground, obviously, or in this case, a higher ground. What happened is that whenever those events happen, the cops are always there guarding that gate. If you try to get through, well, I'll get to that in just a moment. So the governor of Hawaii, Josh Green, he came out and he did a series of live events talking about the status and what was going on. First one was kind of a dud. The second one was, we'll let you know as soon as it hits midway. And then once it got through the midway point, they expected the surge to start to happen because it wasn't going to look any different. He says once it hits the midway, it's eventually, then that normally is indicative of what's going to happen on the island of Maui. So he gave the series, and I want to say that's the first time we've ever had any kind of proactive activity happen with the government of Hawaii trying to help the people. Then, and this is reported from a Japanese news station. See, this tsunami is it's very real. Even if the waves are 3 to 6 feet high, doesn't sound like it's very big, but when you've got that surge of that rush of wave, it's one you cannot ride as a surfer. There is a huge surge that 4 whales got washed up along the coast of Japan just hours after the 8.8 earthquake in Russia. So keep praying for the people in Japan, please. So Oprah, I'm kind of going through this again. Some people are very new to the movement, so they want to know what's going on. Oprah used to have a piece of property at Thompson's Ranch in Kula, Maui. It was renamed to OW, Oprah Winfrey Ranch. But as of, and for those of you that have listened to my podcast back in we were able to look at back pages for this map and find out that August 2nd was the last entry for this map, where it said it is, get this, permanently closed. OW Ranch, permanently closed. It was closed down That was it. Did the white hats rescue the children, close down the ranch, and Oprah got dealt with? And but her sick friends wanted to retaliate by causing a fire in Lahaina. 6 days later is when the horrific fires happened. Elites have bought so much land on Maui that it's caused the price of housing. Single family homes are right now 1.3 million. Maui rents have increased to close to $5,000, which is ridiculous. But back to Oprah. Her name happens to appear on Q4577 on a quote-unquote list, right? And the list didn't have a title, but many of the Anons believe this is the Epstein Island list. So is it the Epstein Island list? You and I both know the answer, but I'm just asking the question. And there is Oprah's name. This is all listed in alphabetical order by first name, and there's her name right there. All right, so we're going to see a little bit more and more of these things start coming out, but Oprah is very good friends with some very vile monsters. So if you're in Hawaii and you're listening to this and you like Oprah, really understand why people like me or many people that support President Trump or the MAGA movement, we support it for the reason of saving the children. She was friends with John of God, Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, and Obama. Well, Obama is now implicated in treasonous conspiracy. Diddy's in prison. After the civil lawsuits, he's going to wish he was in, I'm guessing he's going to wish he was in prison for the rest of his life. John of God has got a life sentence of 360 years, and Harvey Weinstein, he's in prison. So for bad crimes, guys. So why did she need a county road to have quick access to her evil ranch? Yeah. Or Charlene, you can go ahead and dig on that, but this is what it would look like. So people that live what's called on the south side of Maui, they have only one way to get to higher ground. Now, there's another place for higher ground, which is up in this area right up here. But most people go up to higher ground because, again, the reports they weren't getting very reliable information other than EBSs and the sirens going off. So you only have a tsunami siren warning, kind of a practice, a test run, every first Monday of the month. Now you have this tsunami warning blasting 4 times in one day. Yes, the locals were getting a little, they were on alert. So this is the red is the common road to get to higher ground. And then here's the 10-minute Oprah road to get to higher ground. Her ranch would be right around this area right over here. So there's that 10-minute road that she has access to, and that's the road that everyone was screaming to have open. So on August 8th, the deadly day of the massacre, the fire massacre on Maui, they had an upcountry fire in Kula. And I kept asking, why am I the only one that has a photo of the fire in Kula? Well, it was a really odd fire. It started about 1 hour before the fire actually quite a few hours before that fire in Lahaina. But Maui had most of their fire department an hour away from Lahaina, so they were right up here. Actually, and it doesn't look like it's that hot far up, but it takes about an hour to get to Lahaina without traffic. And if they have fire trucks and it's big equipment, again, it's going to take a while. So they were busy up there. So here's the fire in Lahaina, and if you notice, I believe it was caused by direct energy weapons because look how it's perfectly lined. And then if you go any further north of Lahaina, you're familiar with Maui, you go north, it gets into a little bit more of a pause area, and then you go from Lahaina to Kahana to Kapalua, which is a very, very wealthy, affluent area. Those areas were dried up, or were not touched, unharmed. I mean, literally saw fire lines right at where the Kahana and Lahaina line showed, and it was like, what? Okay, so that was going on over there, and then the bodies are brought to the police department, forensics in containers, and again, you can open this up, and there is an Instagram post in there. I didn't want to alert the Instagram post because I didn't want them to lose it, but it's from a news station showing containers. I'll show it to you. Hang on. So this is an article that was written August 21st of 2023. It was something that reported. Look how many of my different posts got taken down. All right, so this got taken down. Nick came up to this got taken down. An X post. All right, so it kind of gives you, this is Mark Esper talking about that dues do exist. This is the fire, and then this is the one about the family members are showing. Okay, so let me just go ahead and play this while I have my conversation.
Facility in Wailuku. Although their loved ones haven't been officially identified. They tell me they know in their heart that they're here. Some even brought tea leaf to line the perimeter for protection. Tony and Brenda Ke'ao came to MPD's forensic facility in Wailuku to pay their respects. He says he knows deep down that his mother, 83-year-old Gwendolyn Kanani Pua'u, who lived off Lahaina Luna Road, is here.
I feel sorry for the other families, what they lost. They lost their family, their homes, and Maui is hurting.
One by one, Matson containers showed up to the facility on Tuesday. I saw morgue operations specialists loading and offloading human remains into 2 of them. Officials say some containers are full of extra supplies that were brought in to handle the magnitude of this catastrophe.
Since this was posted and reported back in August of 2023, I'd found out that, and again, I'm hearing this from the Coconut Wireless, but these are very reliable, in the know Coconut Wireless folks. The people that lost family members, they were paid 7 digits to remain silent and not sue the government. That's what I heard. You decide, but that's what I heard. But how is it that they are able to go ahead less than a week later, get in front of a camera and watch these containers go into a police department, forensic department, forensic? All right, again, guys, I'm just saying this because do they not want to show the bullet holes that went through the bodies, that pierced the bodies, or other types of chemicals, gasoline smells, right? Again, you decide. But did they not want any of that? Why didn't it go? All these bodies go to a morgue, and why were they transported all? They were thrown into containers. That's what really ticks me off about why President Trump is working so hard to take down this evil corruption. And this is just one island, one little blip on the radar of the entire what's going on in the entire world. Okay. I'm getting a little hot because I was really hot last night. You guys are all with me, and I want to say thank you. If I could see you all in person, I cannot wait to give you hugs. Months later, after this report, the Maui fire chief, he was actually arrested. He was charged, and then eventually, it says mugshot, arrested for having sex assault of a minor. So was he protecting Oprah and her sick operation because of what he did? Did he intentionally instruct the Maui Fire Department to go to the smaller fire upcountry, which is in Kula, which is an hour away from Lahaina? And did he shut off the water for the Kula fire at the same time, making it very difficult? These people are just nasty. Recently, Maui police name chief, he is named in the Diddy civil case. A civil case. Is this the case? If that's the case, was he helping Oprah with her operation, turning a blind eye to the reports of missing children? Of course, this police denies any wrongdoing with the Diddy allegations, but the police commission would not put this chief on leave at all. So this is still the same guy that blocks the roads, unblocks a road if he wants to, is the same guy that patrols what does and doesn't happen. And that the county road, again, is not a private Oprah road, but they turned it into that. Again, guys, they're very, very dirty, evil people. Maui police were told to keep their fire victims in the fire zone, and you could see this podcast right here about what happened and how there were... This one's a heartbreaking podcast. That was really hard for me to do because of just the stuff that was coming out. And people were now able, after a month after the fire, they were able to talk about it. And it was really heartbreaking. Now, until something happens to the corrupt government, the people of Maui have nowhere to turn. Maui is known to have some of the most corrupt government, and then some. And some tried to get past the gate. If they tried to get past that gate that I showed you about 10 minutes ago, they could very well get arrested. That's how dirty the county is. The corruption runs so deep that even former presidents of the United States are involved with crimes against humanity. The fire was a crime against humanity, in my humble opinion. Again, you decide. But the former presidents, you know who they are involved in crimes against humanity to the point where they have committed treason. They had to commit treasonous acts to frame a duly elected president, which is President Trump, to prevent their Pandora's box from opening up, because President Trump, they knew he was an outsider coming in, and he was the new sheriff in town. And that's what they were afraid of. Now, WikiLeaks, they revealed the code words of pizza and hot dogs for Obama's very vile parties involving young children at the White House. And what shocks me is if these crimes occurred, why didn't anyone that secures a president at the time notify the authorities? So here's an email right here. It says, I think Obama spent about $65,000 of taxpayer money flying in pizza/dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House not long ago. Assume, are we using the same channels? Because this dude right here, Fred, he was invited to celebrate all you hot dogs out there. Eric, can you participate as well? And then they were tagging a bunch of people, and this was Fred's response to that. They're sick. They're just sick. President Trump, though, he is on a mission. He wants to take down every single swamp monster. He is reposting strong truth posts to get his message across very clearly. Until these people are behind bars, nothing's going to change. It tells me these swamp monsters, they need to be behind bars. This is a repost of somebody here. It's a meme of the swamp rats. Until this happens, nothing will change. And that's so true. I stand with Trump 47. That's who it's coming from. She got reposted a lot yesterday. President Trump is making it very clear that Obama needs to get indicted and tried for treason. Declassified documents as proof. It's already declassified. They were classified, meaning they went through their investigation. They went through all the whole thing, all the crossing T's, dotting I's. Now they declassify those documents. Don't you think that the handcuffs would be next, right? No. But okay, referrals to send him and others to Gitmo have been done by Senator Ron Johnson. That was heard in the podcast from yesterday. So now it's just a matter of time. Here's a meme post by Robert. I don't know what the last name is. It's time to indict Obama, the traitor for treason. Okay, so President Trump, again, guys, the smaller picture is Maui, the bigger picture is the world, what's been going on, and Obama being the big name, right? When the swamp begins to fall, the dominoes follow. They're corrupt dominoes follow. The corrupt people must fall down, or we will still be living in a very corrupt country. Small piece of that was what happened, not just in Maui, the fire, but the California fires, Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton, all of these tragic events that happened in Houston and every part of the country, of the world, how they happen, and that the corrupt government just says, oh, I'm so sorry, and do a little presser, and then that's it, nothing else, right? President Trump is on a mission to make sure they will get the justice they all deserve. He is hinting in this post. This is another truth post. He is hinting martial law. Now, some might say, why? Why? Is it because the TDSers, the Trump derangement syndrome people, would lose their absolute freaking marbles when Obama gets arrested and indicted? Even if he gets indicted, maybe he doesn't even have an arrest, he get indicted, they will lose their freaking minds, right? It says here, federal law. They are insurrectionists, just like the Southern governors during the Civil War. President Trump should declare martial law in those cities, arrest the mayors, appoint military governors, and restore the rule of law. And that was posted by this extreme stable genius at Mazarico, on Truth. July 30th, Deltas gives a little insight of what's coming. Do not mistake silence for inaction, right? Another Q post is a quote from the Bible, Psalm 78:45. He sent among them swarms of flies which devoured them, and frogs which destroyed them. And look at this post too, by a Q post. It's an anon frog, and there's a fly on Obama and a fly on Hillary. Again, and it's the frogs. Who are the frogs? You're the frogs, right? And then there's another Delta for today, Godfather 3. It's going to be biblical. Okay, so we know biblical in terms of the Bible and also biblical in terms of woe, right? So get ready, fellow Pepes and frogs, anon surfers. This Trump tsunami is going to wipe away the dirty swamp eventually. We know we're dealing with a lot of 2.0s, but they're showing the 2.0s still doing nasty, dirty things, the 2.0, 3.0s, or whatever they are, .0s, in Hillary's case, 50.0. They're showing them doing nasty, dirty things, going on, doing the media circuit, line. And then the media, let's wait until we get the media too. But no, none of this taking down the swamp and the efforts to see President Trump even posted anything about arresting or indicting or treasonous acts wouldn't have happened without you. You were the ones that made this happen, right? And that's where President Trump is very grateful for you, because again, what you are to him is his crowd support. So you are his fight. So I want to thank you for your fight. I want to thank you for helping Maui to get that road open, even if it was just for a few vehicles. You still did it. And even if they say we opened up the road, just had those 6-8 vehicles go through, and then they shut it down just to deceive the president. He's going to find out through this. Hopefully they're listening, or white hats are listening to this podcast. Please let President Trump know it's just for a short term. Thank you for trusting in God. Thank you for trusting in the man God chose to help lead the way. But mostly, thank you for trusting in yourself, your gut. You know, President Trump, he constantly posts this. Thank you, real MAGA. I see you, real MAGA. He's saying thank you. And then one of the other posts for Deltas for today is time travel is fun. Okay, so again, please know that there is a reason why everything happens. I sent Il Donato a thank you message. Thanks for getting Oprah's road open for Maui. Tsunami families, you are a blessing. And he just responded with a heart. He's got over 1 million followers, but he responded with that. But I just want to say he is the people's president. He is reposting your stuff. He wants you to get on truth. Did you notice Quag.news doesn't have Trump posts on there anymore? He wants you to get on truth. He wants you to start posting your memes. He wants to start recognizing. He wants you to get recognized, build your own army of anons or surfers or whatever it may be. But he wants you to start getting your boots on the ground on social media. But I will say this, the power of social media, had none of this would have happened, the roads opening up, none of this would have happened had it not been for you. And I want to say thank you. You are a blessing. God bless you abundantly. Have a beautiful day and afternoon, and I will have a show very soon. Aloha.